Okay, so is gender about sexuality?
Yes.
Gender includes sexuality. What do you think? Does gender include sexuality?
I think gender and sexuality are slightly different questions, right?
Okay.
I think of gender as a set of social norms and values that you choose to ascribe to.
Okay.
I actually have a very similar definitions. Gender is the social norms with which one is most comfortable
Okay.
expressing and having and
What's the relationship of gender to sex?
feeling. Sex is more of the biological and anatomical aspects of an individual, so it'd be not only your chromosomal makeup, but also physical characteristics that are present and non-present and visible understanding.
Okay.
Whereas gender focuses much more on behavioral and psychosocial aspects.
Like
Historical precedent.
Yeah, like Afghanistan. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was clear.
You want 20? I've got 3 hours. I'll only need a little Google. It won't take me much.
I'm sure there's a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, there's some sure. The West has fucked with the Middle East. Yes.
I tried to go abstract in time and just think of like, what is the best evidence for the West is such, what do you call that category? It's like a,
Hello. This is our critical thinking game. These are suggestions, and you can bring your own. You are so welcome to play. Okay. That's okay. Are you okay if we put it on YouTube later? You can tell me later. You'll tell me after. I think Reed is choosing the noteboard role.
I'll try to capture the reasons and put them on the board to review later. Kind of map it out.
So please start on neutral. And the only thing you have to agree on, hey, you want to come in and play? Please. All you have to do is agree on to be talking about the same claim. So do you have a claim on there that you're interested in, or you want to bring your own? Okay.
Okay, let's see. Do you want to, what do you want to do? Tackle gender? Do you want to tackle police? Any preferences?
I mean, I would say, let me look at the options.
Okay.
You do gender.
Okay. Gender. Okay, everybody start on neutral.
What is the claim exactly?
Oh, right. This isn't a claim. This is a question. We have to come to a claim. What makes someone gender binary?
Non-binary.
Non-binary. Yes. What makes someone? How does someone? I'm uncertain how to do this orange thing. Could you take over this part for me?
Yeah, just what are some answers to this question? Or anything related to gender you can bring up as a claim as well. Anything.
Males, females, basically, should males be more dominant than female?
No, I don't think so.
That's
I
one
don't think that's what I mean. But
But that is
you can talk to the guys and see if they want that. I think you guys wanted to talk about gender definitions, or
I was comfortable with that.
okay.
Definitions of gender.
The definition of gender should be what?
Is that a good claim?
Should be self-defined. We say that.
Okay. The definition of gender should be self-defined.
People should be able to self-define their own gender? How about that?
Okay.
I like that.
Cool. All right. So definitions. What does gender mean?
How you identify yourself, and also gender means the category you fit in. So I fit in as a male,
Okay.
and I could also fit in as bisexual. If I like.
Okay. So is gender about sexuality?
Yes.
Gender includes sexuality. What do you think? Does gender include sexuality?
I think gender and sexuality are slightly different questions, right?
Okay.
I think of gender as a set of social norms and values that you choose to ascribe to.
Okay.
I actually have a very similar definitions. Gender is the social norms with which
Okay.
expressing, having, and
What's the relationship of gender to sex?
sex is more of the biological and anatomical aspects of an individual, so it'd be not only your chromosomal makeup, but also physical characteristics that are present and non-present and visible understanding.
Okay.
Whereas gender focuses much more on behavioral and psychosocial aspects.
Okay, and the thing I'm trying to get to is, are these about sex?
Are they about sex?
Yeah, I think the first definition you gave, I never heard anything that said anything to do with sex. It was just how you present and what you're most comfortable at.
Yes.
Which could be artist.
Yeah.
Is artist a gender?
Not necessarily.
No.
Okay.
It's informed by sex and how we understand gender.
Okay.
So,
Anything else to add to these definitions?
physical, behavioral, psychological. I would say that gender has this is going to be very hard to put in a single word. Within current cultural understandings, it has ascribed
Culture dependent?
cultural dependency. Yes, is a big aspect of it.
I think it's also valuable to note that our historical discussions about sex, especially recently, have been very focused on a binary when, I think biologically you see a lot of variance when you actually dig in. Intersex people have been historically incredibly excluded
Yeah.
and don't fall within that sex binary. And then when you think about gender, it can be expressed in so many ways.
I would say for the other one that he was doing for sex, I mean, it's more like what's your type and what you love and what you don't
That's
love.
sexual orientation?
Yeah, and it's to do with also like having your choosing your sexual partners. Yes.
Who are you attracted to? Who do you want as a partner?
Exactly.
Yes.
Sexual orientation. Yes.
Yeah. And I think you're saying gender is independent of sexual orientation. Often it's correlated.
I would not
Something like that?
necessarily say correlation, but I would say that how we currently define words do require an understanding of where your sex and your gender identity lie.
Okay.
Definitely. Sexual orientation certainly has to do with gender and is informed by
Yeah.
gender, and that's an easy way of sort of describing the traits to which you're attracted.
Yeah. Okay, good.
And like I would think that gender is to do with all kinds of people and all types of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like gender can be like what you see yourself, but also like let's say that I don't like to see myself as straight. I want to see myself as loving two different people or loving one people.
Yeah.
And you can decide on how you feel inside of you. Like if I feel like I want to love men only, then I can feel that way.
Yes.
And people can't judge you by
What if they do?
by what you cover. If they do, then that's just then you shouldn't listen to them because they're just trying
So
to
you
get
just
inside
shouldn't
your
listen.
head.
Okay. If they disagree, just ignore them.
But I mean, everybody's opinion matters, but everyone should be open to listening to other people as well.
Okay.
Because I respect everyone, not just myself.
Else defines their own gender. I think we've defined gender. I think all the definitions. So do you know where you're going to stand? We've been talking about a neutral until we figured out exactly what the claim was. Do you know where, before you go, do you know where you're going? The claim is people should be able to self-define their own gender. We're trying to have you not influence each other, so decide where you're going before you go. Ready?
Yes,
Okay.
I
Go ahead. Okay, strongly agree. So we have a unanimity over here. This is cool.
Like as soon as you said define your own gender, I feel like it is important to do that because it speaks for who you are and what you want to show others as you.
May I trade with you?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes. What's the main reason why y'all are on this line, what's the best reason to be on this line? Who has a good answer to that? Want to go?
So the highly controversial response is always gender is a construct. But
It's a social construct?
it is a social construct, and that idea falls under what is the definition of a man, what is the definition of a woman, which I think are the most easily accessible definitions, given a lot of media portrayals. They're mostly behavioral. So we have behavioral and attitudinal responses to it. So a man is strong under some stereotypical definitions of what masculinity is.
Okay.
And that in line with a couple of other behavioral definitions. So in terms of behavior, sure, we might have some natural inclinations, but a lot of it is self-determined, both by how you grew up, where you grew up. It can potentially be informed by genetics, but realistically, it's much more epigenetic, so how that environment interacts with you.
Yeah, so if gender is a social construct, we can construct a lot of stuff that's not fixed.
So this is a supporting assumption, I think, for that reason.
Constructs are indeed modifiable, so yes, I would agree
Okay.
with that,
Yeah.
supporting.
I think on that note, we already have a framework to understand the way that gender is constructed, right? Historically, we know that gender has changed and cultural associations of gender have completely changed over time. You know, in many Native communities still, you see many definitions of gender that go far past the binary. And I think understanding that we can have some flexibility in the way that we define gender as a society is really valuable, especially seeing that gender has been weaponized over time by states, by hierarchies, and social systems, predominantly against women and women of color.
Yes, social hierarchies and systems have shaped how gender has been constructed in the past. It's changed over time. So at this point, we should just allow people to be able to self-define their own gender. What are there separate kinds of categories for what genders people can have? 2, more?
Technically, gender would be infinite or equivalent to the n equals population within that.
Theoretically, there could be 7 billion genders.
There could actually be several different individuals all can inhabit different behaviors that fit them, and again, that will shift over time as well. So it could be into the permutation of however many times people will shift gender or their understanding of it throughout time. I mean, we even have readily evident examples within Western culture. Men used to wear heels within the 1600s and 1700s, and now it's not something that they traditionally wear. In modern culture, are we still part of the West? Yes. And those behaviors have shifted, even though they now have very gendered understandings of who wears these items of gender expression, which another word on top of
Gender expression, another
gender
one.
expression, how your outward presentation of one's gender.
Yeah.
Like, to go on to what he said, that gender, like, you can like wear the clothes you want to wear, like wear emo, you can wear golf, you can wear casual clothes, you can wear something like the same shirt as your partner, the same, like you can be very connectful and show brotherhood, sisterhood, all these types of hoods, and like you can be all three. You can be straight, gay, bisexual. You can be like transgender as well. You can be all of them. And honestly, like you have the right to choose where you want to fit in and who you want to be, because nobody should control what you think inside of you. And honestly, like everybody is special and different in their own ways.
No one should be under that kind of control.
Yes,
Is what I'm hearing.
exactly.
All right. So those are some reasons for being on the agree side. What reasons have you heard on the opposite side? What would they say if someone was standing there? Ideally, their either best reason or most popular reason you've heard?
The most popular reason is a conflation of gender and sex. So the idea of men are born and women are born and no one's in between. There's usually an erasure of intersex individual, as my friend mentioned. So typically about 1 in 1,500 to 2,000 births actually has an individual demonstrating intersex traits, and these could be ambiguous genitalia as well as XXY chromosomes. So with regard to the most common argument that I hear about, gender and, there's only men and women born, well, that definition also falls a little bit flat, both within the physical realm as well.
The way you would hear them say sex is gender is equivalent to sex.
Mm-hmm.
They might also say they can't change.
They would say that the arguments that I have heard is that it is immutable, regardless of sex change surgeries. There's this innate characteristic of inherent masculinity or femininity to an individual based on physical characteristics.
That's two different assumptions. The can't change is a different assumption. Okay.
I should add two separate.
Just gender is equivalent to sex, and then a blue one.
Okay, thank you. I'll do that.
Humans can't change sex is probably an assumption they would make.
Mm-hmm.
And a rebuttal to the sex is equivalent to gender is the intersex counter to that. Is that fair?
A rebuttal specifically within the argument itself. So I do think the argument has a failure when it comes to conflation. They are two separate items. One is a behavioral aspect, whereas another one is a hormonal and physical attribute aspect. However, if you're falling within that same realm when speaking to individuals, the argument still falls flat if we conflate the two, because there is not a binary within the natural world of sex.
Okay. Anything to add in terms of reasons for and against, or rebuttals to these individual reasons?
I think one justification I've heard for discrediting someone's gender identity is that since it's socially constructed, maybe I have the right to have my own, constructed opinion of your gender. I think that's a really limited understanding of the way that gender really functions, because ultimately, it's not a fixed thing, it's really fluid, and gender ultimately, I imagine, is going to disappear in a moment.
Would that be preferable that the concept of gender completely goes away?
Yes, because gender is violence.
Gender is violence.
Gender is violence.
Okay, I'm not going back to that.
I would say that the people for the disagree, they would say the normal thing is the boy date a girl and the girl date a boy. But I would say anything is possible, and that's the normal thing, that you should have your own path and your own decisions, and you should feel welcome even if they say it's wrong, even though they said you should feel what you really want to feel, and that no one should be judging you and for what you think.
We shouldn't judge, we should respect people's feelings.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is there any kind of thing anyone could say over there that would persuade you to move one line over? What would need to be true in order to potentially move one line?
The claim as it stands,
People should be able to self-define their own gender. What would need to be true to move to the agree line?
the claim as it stands, I can't think of something immediate, honestly.
Can't think of anything. One second. What about you?
I think ultimately my understanding of gender has been informed by gender diverse people, their writings and our conversations. I think that my understanding of gender would only be able to change if somebody who, could speak passionately about their own experience was able to communicate that to me in a way that made a lot of sense. But right now, from all of my conversations with my gender diverse friends, my view is pretty locked in.
Okay.
The only way I could change my answer if the other team would say all men and female are equal and not separate. I feel like now, since we're in a diverse world, that I don't know why, but just men are getting all more money and the women's are not. And I think that in this world that we live in today, we need to all be connected and all show our own identity and also show other identity too. But if they agree to say that females and males should be equal pay, and also should also show what they love for, then yeah, I could maybe move a step over. But it needs
Okay.
to
I'm not sure.
be equally.
If equality, identity is irrelevant,
Is that what you're in?
I'm not
Yes.
sure what you're. Okay, sure.
Okay.
So, want to come to the board and potentially weigh some of these reasons if you have time? All right, great. I've got some. First, you can, if you think a reason is false, you can put one of these on there. Or if you have questions about a reason, I'm not sure if it's true or false, you can put a question mark. Or if something is true, you can put it on there. And then maybe we can weigh each reason, see which is has the most weight in the argument. Go ahead. If you have any opinions on the reasons.
Y'all can crowd in. It's not all onesie twosie.
Can we add 2 to 1?
Two X's?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Well, each one of you can add one.
Yeah. And if someone disagrees on a reason, that might be another interesting thing to talk about potentially. Okay.
I have a question mark for the wording on this one.
Okay. Constructs are modifiable for convenience.
There's a lack of perspective on this. For who is the construct?
Okay, how would you write that?
I think the way that I would switch it to agree with it is constructs by the individual who has crafted the construct, it is modifiable. Whereas for others, a construct may or may not be modifiable depending on the actual construct itself. So in terms of gender, the individual can modify, whereas another person can't define someone else's gender.
It's only a self.
It's a self-definition, self-awareness, self-understanding. So in that case, I would elevate that to a little bit more. The individual can modify their constructs.
Their own. Okay. And that would replace that one.
I mean, what I was trying to say before is also very similar to this one, that gender has been used for bad power. So as I was saying, for like the males and females, not like the males have been showing it as bad power compared to the females. So that's why it, and we don't want to show the dominant and another side not dominant, you know?
Yeah.
That's another what I was trying to say as well.
All right, there's a lot here to potentially go over. How's your time? Want to wrap it up here, or are you going to keep going?
I think I might have to head on.
Cool. Well, that was
Thank you.
That was a good discussion. Appreciate it. Thank
We'd
you
like to
all.
offer you some squeezy toys.
Yeah, we have some stress
And
balls.
if you all want the same colors, I've got more.
I might want the blue one.
Uh-huh. Does anybody else want blue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, okay. I'll get the blue.
Okay.
Blue.
Okay.
Eloquence is subjective.
All right. So cool if we potentially upload this.
What do you guys do? Like, what is street Epistemology?
Yeah, we're trying to practice this way of having conversations that is not heated, that helps people think through stuff. We kind of ask questions from a neutral perspective, and help people think through stuff and get everything just on the table to evaluate and think through.
We give up the goal of trying to come to the truth of the claim. Instead, we're digging down to the reasons to see if you like your reasons when you expose them.
Yeah.
And sometimes people go, well, that's a dumb reason. And they learn something.
There was one question I was waiting for y'all to ask. You
Yeah.
asked it kind of at the beginning, the distinction between, well, you can identify as a Republican or a Democrat. How is that identification and that construct within the party different from identifying as a man or a woman?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that key distinction would be a way to delve a little bit further
Yeah,
into
yeah.
the topic.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for us?
Good question. Yeah.
Do y'all
We've been
go
keeping really neutral.
do y'all, in terms of keeping really neutral? Oh, are you talking about the topic at hand?
As
or-
you like, anything you like. We're not trying to be, we've been staying really neutral so we keep our cards next to our chest, but it doesn't mean we're trying to not actually be honest or clear.
Do you
So-
travel across college campuses or across different areas where there's a conglomeration of people?
This is the local one to us, we just do it each week.
Oh, okay.
We also sometimes go to Runyon Canyon Park and then other kind of meetup events.
Well, thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
I really like you should, across another like American like another places like in Mexico. There's this school like called American School Foundation where they have you can see other people's points and sides of view
Yeah.
and how they
Hi there.
feel to be international or how the Americans feel to live in a different environment, you know, like, you
Yeah.
know, it's definitely, I've
Welcome.
been living in a different environment, so I feel like this street in physiologically is like, can show that living in a different environment is not a bad thing, and,
Right.
and why all these people should do overseas or want to learn what's it feel like to be an outsider and then work your way up again, you know? 'Cause that's what I had to do.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
I
Appreciate
hear
it.
travel is good for cultural understanding.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's good to learn, connect, and understand like their perspective. Because if I didn't live in Mexico, I wouldn't know what's like
Mm-hmm.
like I'm them, you know. Whereas you understand it if you live. I mean, if you don't go there, you'll be like, well, who are these people? Why are they here?
Yeah, yeah.
You feel like that, you know. And I feel like it's not good for you, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like Americans need to know what's their culture like. Why are they coming here? What they want to succeed, you know. So, but this is cool. This is fun. I like it.
Cool. Thank you.
Do you have any like summer jobs or like in case I wanna do something like this?
Yeah, this isn't a paid thing for us.
Oh no, I don't want a pay thing. Like an internship. And
We're always seeking volunteers for the nonprofit behind Street Epistemology. You can contact them. Go to streetepistemology.com on the back of his shirt.
Oh, okay.
Go there. There's also a card, the vertical card over there.
Okay.
There's an email there, and you can get in touch. And we can, if you want help to help out.
Yeah,
Let us
sure,
know.
sure.
Yeah.
Cause like this might be like something like this would definitely be a good future job for me.
I don't know that there's much money in it.
Yeah,
I
not,
mean,
maybe a
Make
hobby.
it into, like a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's that. He's got 17,000 subscribers. That's something like a show.
Yeah, that is definitely for sure.
I've got 522.
I got 3,000.
Wow.
Based on my personality, but
Way ahead of me.
I mean, cause I started a few months ago. Like in February, I had like 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely like it's how you connect with others
Yeah.
to gain more, you know.
Yeah.
If you connect it in a positive way, good way, they'll keep coming, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If they don't see what they like, sometimes they'll just unfollow, you know?
Yeah.
But you can't do anything about it. You just have to keep being you know?
Yeah. You might get stuck with the talking stick. I had a real vapor lock there a moment. Thank you for being
Sure.
able to pick up. It just, the brain crashed momentarily.
Okay.
I'm trying to make movies too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good.
Thanks.
Good.
Like, I feel like this could be like, this could be good for a show.
Yeah. Well, it is.
It is, yeah.
This is that's going to be a YouTube video in the next few weeks, maybe.
Yeah, but I was thinking like, like, how those people do it in Hollywood? Where those, they get people
I know about
pay to
production
be
in
on
Hollywood.
to pay to be on live stream and all that. And this could be a
Oh.
pretty good live stream, like, event
Sure.
for millions.
We've live streamed this before.
And then you just need to find that one celebrity that would get everyone to come. I mean, that's the hard part. But
Finding a celebrity?
no, I'm saying,
Oh.
I'm saying like, if we can get celebrities' point of views, I mean, that would make the show go double.
So we should get celebrities on to go viral?
That'd be nice. Yeah.
He says yes. Okay. If Reed says it's a good idea, I'm willing to try it.